forgot that there's still leftover soup in the fridge. Are you sensing my problem here? I have a lot of leftovers. Well, hello, welcome back for yet another episode of RV Life, What I Eat in a Week, brought to you by the Danae Collective. Hi, I'm Danae, and this is episode 41. I did something a little different this time since most of the content was leftovers, and I didn't want to show that. That's boring. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. The other day, I got it into my head, I really wish that this wasn't so bright. Like, this is closed, bro. Why is it so bright? Okay. Focus. So the other day, I got it in my head that I wanted spring rolls. Now, this was a Tuesday, and I say this very specifically because I could have just waited one more day and gotten, like, you know, $5 sushi from the grocery store because they do $5 sushi Wednesdays. I didn't want to do any of that. I already have avocados always on hand. So I was like, okay, I can do shrimp, avocado, carrot, greens, bean sprouts. That'll be so good. So I bought the shrimp and everything else, put that together. That turned out great. One of the things that I did not consider before I did all that was the fact that I already had a full fridge of like prepped ingredients and things that I did not realize were still in the fridge because I didn't check before I went to the grocery store. Very smart, right? So I had bought mini cucumbers, and there was still mini cucumbers in my fridge. So I was like, well, shit, right? Ended up doing that like really popular cucumber recipe where it's like accordion cucumbers with soy sauce and all sorts of other stuff in there. And that got rid of one of the bags of small cucumbers, and I still have a whole container of cucumbers. So, should have thought that through. But also, I made like 4 spring rolls and realized that the majority of my containers were occupied. Now, I would have originally wanted to have like 2 spring rolls and like something hot on the side, like ramen or soup with noodles or something, you know? And instead I just had 4 spring rolls. But I had already bought a bunch of ingredients and I could not fit them in my fridge. So, in the end, I made the spring rolls, ate the spring rolls. Yeah. Then I realized I still have a lot of rice paper wraps. What am I going to do with all this? So what I ended up doing, and I will be very blunt, did not do it well. The concept, great. The execution needed some work, right? So I have been craving fish. I wanted salmon in particular, but I knew I already had like this frozen, pre-seasoned herb-crusted flounder, I think it was. So I was like, ooh, cool, I'll take that. And I'll put that inside of the rice paper wrap. I still had some leftover shrimp that was already defrosted and deveined and detailed and all that. So I'm like, ooh, let's combine the 2 things. The problem here is that I did not thaw the fish. I just went ahead, took the rice paper wraps, took 2, layered them, put the shrimp down the middle, put the frozen flounder over it, and then wrapped it all up. I don't know why I thought that was a great idea, but I didn't have the patience to approach any other option, right? So, problem number 1. Problem number 2. In my mind, I was like, ooh, this would be really good pan-fried. But then because I knew that the fish was frozen, I was like, maybe let's not do that. So I decided to air fry it. And that turned out okay for the top half of it. But then the bottom was all soggy because as the fish was defrosting and cooking, all the juices ended up on the bottom. So didn't get that nice crispy rice paper bottom that I was looking for. So there was that. Then I thought to myself, I'm really craving some brown rice. Where did I think I was going to put the leftover brown rice when I knew I didn't have space in my fridge for anything? So that's problem number 3. So, my God. Yeah, so made that, ate it. It was delicious. Texturally, half of it was appealing, the other half was not, because you had like soggy, chewy rice paper, and then you had crispy, crunchy rice paper, and then the soft, flaky fish, and then the firm shrimp, right? That's the best description I can give you of it, because I had 2 of those fillets. I had to cook both of them, so I had to figure out how to get that other one into the fridge, because no way I could eat it in that day, and set it aside for the following day. So in retrospect, like, this would probably work if you have the kind of air fryer that has something that lifts the item off of the bottom, because I used a silicone tray, which does not separate what's cooking from the juices that come off of it. So, you know, maybe my concept could have worked if I had different tools to make it work. I don't know. What I ended up doing with that second piece of fish was I turned it into a bibimbap bowl. Don't ask me why I needed to do that to remember what on earth the word was. Turn that into a bibimbap bowl. I have kimchi in the fridge outside, but I didn't want to have to open that because, again, the problem is don't have space on the fridge inside. Barely have space in the fridge outside. So I utilized my pickled cabbage, radish, and cilantro, which I thought worked really well with this. Made a fried egg. Used what was left of my bean sprouts, almost all of what was left of the shredded carrots, and the remaining greens. Now, when I tell you that the only thing in my fridge right now is leftover soup and cucumbers, 2 avocados, and 4 eggs, and condiments, and chocolate, and everything else is in the freezer. I do definitely think that I want to retry that idea, but obviously with things that are raw or thawed and not frozen, because that was it's a very smart plan of mine. But yeah, so main dilemma here is I probably need to go to the grocery store, but I should not go to the grocery store. The light is bright. Yes, better? Hello? Ish? Okay. So, I have never quite had success growing things. And when I did have success growing things, I often forgot that they existed because of wherever they were placed on the property. So, where I lived before, my landlord was very meticulous about his yard because I was in one of his rooms in the house. And he would move things, probably because it would get better lighting or, you know, it's his yard. And I would forget that those things existed because I never walked past those areas or whatever the reason may be, out of sight, out of mind, okay? So I have made sure that my herbs, and I say herbs because there's one herb out there growing, and I think the rest are fruit, and I'll explain the thinking part there. But I've got them placed right outside the RV door, so it's like I can open the door to like toss some trash or toss my recyclables, sure, into the recycling bin that's right by the outdoor trash can. And I can see how my plants are doing. So because I see them, I'll be like, ooh, you're looking kind of wilty. Ooh, you look kind of dry. Maybe you need more water. Or maybe I need to move this table back because it's getting far too much afternoon sun, right? Whatever the reason may be. I see it when I come home. I see it anytime I get out of the RV or walk towards the RV. And when I tell you that my Thai basil, the only herb that I have, is growing in abundance. The bottom has nothing going on. It's all top heavy, and I'm just like, you keep spreading. I keep plucking your flowers off so you can stop doing whatever it is that you're doing, but you just keep getting bigger, right? So I need to make something that incorporates Thai basil leaves. I also have some cherry tomatoes that, you know, they need to go, right? So I'm thinking some kind of a tomatoey sauce, garlic, Thai basil, probably gonna do some kind of noodles because I would like this dish with noodles, I think. I don't like the idea of it with rice per se. I have ground turkey in my freezer, so may or may not go. Ooh, Thai basil spaghetti? Does that sound weird? Okay, well, there's an idea. I've got a bunch of cucumbers and no salad greens, right? So I could do some kind of something with cucumbers, my vegan feta, or yeah, nope, don't have any other ideas right now. But yes, so Thai basil herb idea in my head, apparently, all of a sudden. I saved the seeds from some oranges and some lemons, and I just let them kind of sit on the counter until they dried up. Like, I didn't do anything special to them. So I fully did not expect anything to happen. And I don't know if what's growing, well, I think it is, but I don't know that what's growing is those seeds. I planted them, but I also did like a mixture of dirt because where I am, the dirt here, if you could call it that, looks more like sand, like dusty, dirty, sand-colored ground, right? Not necessarily something that you would grow food in that I'm aware of. So I did a mixture of topsoil, and I think it's like a peat moss. No, it's not peat moss. It's some kind of moss concoction that my brother already had because I did not think to go and buy my own dirt. So I planted those, and something sprouted pretty quickly. I might add. And it had like a little on it that looked like the seed had popped open. I just kind of went, ugh, you know, just peel that part off because it was still sitting there after 2 days. And then the leaves went, like they were so happy to be free. I felt like I was freeing a silkworm from a cocoon or something, or like a brand new butterfly that was stuck in its, I don't know, shut up. So point is, I feel like I freed it from what wasn't falling off. And then I also worried that all the birds around here would try to eat the seeds that I put in there, and thus the little seedlings that were growing. Because there was a point where one of those seedlings looked like it had been yanked out of the dirt, but it was left behind. So I kind of just tucked it back into the dirt and prayed for the best. So there are 2 small pots with, I don't know, grass, or just like, I don't know what a lemon tree looks like when it starts growing. I don't know what an orange tree looks like when it starts growing, but something's sprouting in there, and part of it looks like grass and the other part looks like the seed, right? And then I noticed that my little straw baby plant was only producing one little teeny tiny strawberry that clearly a squirrel or a bird or a rabbit, I don't know, was getting to before I got to it. Like, I would see it and I'm like, ooh, she's doing her best. Ooh, she's getting red. She's getting big. I'm gonna pluck you right when you're at your best. And then I would let it sit for just 1 day too long, which is when it would be at its best. And I'd come back and there was nothing there. So I feel like some animal around here was like, oh, I'm gonna get that strawberry. You wait. She's waiting. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it tonight. Right? I don't know what's getting it. I don't have a camera out there to be like, you little squirrels, you stole my strawberry. But either way, I noticed that it hadn't been producing any strawberries, and the leaves weren't like changing color or getting funky, because like when I first brought it here, I noticed that it would get like what looked like to me burning on the leaves maybe, and I was like, that's a shame, because it seemed to be in such great shape when I brought it home. So maybe like where they placed it, and I did all the little mental calculations, I'm like, maybe it's not getting enough water, maybe it's like it's getting too much sun, or I have it placed in the wrong spot. So I did a, you know, little troubleshooting. And then when I planted my little dried seeds that I told you about from the citrus, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should transplant this strawberry, which could be a disaster, okay? This could be what kills the strawberry, but it needs a bigger pot. And as I mentioned, not good soil options. So the very bottom of the pot is the sand, like the sand, because that's what I had enough of to get the height to add my topsoil and everything else. So maybe I layered it right, I don't know. But when I say that my strawberry plant is blooming, there's no strawberries. There's not a single strawberry. But she's getting tall, okay? Little straw baby is a straw girl right now. She's getting kind of big. And she's got a lot of leaves, a lot more leaves than she did before. And there's still one little lonesome strand that bloomed a single flower, but has yet to produce a strawberry. So I'm like, you seem to be doing your best right now, but where's the fruit? Like, did I mess up, or are you just so focused on getting tall and like wider and getting a stronger root, which is great. I want you to have strong roots. I want you to thrive. I want you to thrive like I want to thrive, because I want to eat your strawberries, okay? But you ain't producing any strawberries. My green onion plant, when I tell you I've done absolutely nothing to that other than occasionally add rice water to it, like when I clean my rice, I'll add rice water to all my potted plants, and it's had nary a problem. Have I remembered to use any of the green onion? No, not a once, not a single time, okay? But it's doing fine. It's living its best life right now, I guess. I could probably put better dirt in there, but it doesn't seem to care. It's doing fine. So I don't know if it's the area, if somehow I managed to just get the right components together. I haven't even grinded my eggshells to add to anything. Now I'm scared to do that. I've got a collection of them just sitting in a Tupperware container drying out to eventually be ground into dust. So I am thinking jalapeno, tomato. Ooh, I still have mushrooms. I don't know if those are good. Please. Please be good. Ooh. No. Damn. Well, that sucks. What are we making? Carrots. No. What am I making? Well, I had it in my head that I would make, what is it? It's like a Mediterranean spicy egg dish. But now, man, I don't know what to do. I think I have to go to the grocery store. I think I'm just gonna have to go. I'm just gonna have to go. And I'm back from the grocery store with a bunch of buy one get one picks that I found. I was really craving fruit, so I was so happy to see that they had blueberries buy one get one, and it didn't specify what kind of blueberries, so I guess I've got blueberries from 2 different brands, and then they also had strawberries buy one get one. I ran out of my apples, so I got some more of the little rocket ones. They're so tiny and adorable, but it's like perfect for a quick snack. I restocked on bananas, some red potatoes, I almost said tomatoes, avocado, got the mushrooms to replace the ones that went bad. And then I also made sure to get some green grapes, because that was actually what I was like lusting after when I walked in the grocery store. Was I wanted green grapes. I originally was thinking I wanted some spinach, but then I saw a bag of kale and I was like, hey, it's been a minute since I've had kale, so we'll get kale instead. Now the fun happens where I get to wash, clean, and prep all of this fruit. All right, so since I've got all this fruit that I've got to deal with, I figure I will portion it out. I have a bag of frozen fruit. I think it was like a mixed bag, like berries and stuff. That's pretty much empty. You'll see me pull it out in a minute. But I also had some prepped juice ingredients that I'm fairly certain I showcased in a different video. Who knows how long ago when I actually made it. But this is a bag of frozen watermelon slices, strawberry, lemon, and ginger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use what's left of this frozen bag of fruit, mix that with the juice prep that I have, add some additional ginger, some fresh blueberries, and some of the strawberries to it, just because I didn't feel like there was enough fruit in there to really get the flavors that I wanted. And the majority of the berries ended up going into the bag along with some of the strawberries, so that I have smoothie mix and juice mix for later. And then I kept some fresh, that way I could eat them like as a little snack, or add them to other dishes. Finally, last couple of things I'm going to do is de-stem and clean my apples, and then de-stem and clean my grapes, and I'll set those into a container later. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and finish making this juice. I added, I want to say it's like 2 thumbs. Like, you see me compare the knob of ginger to the size of my thumb, and it looks like 2 thumbs to me, 2 of my thumbs at least. Added that to the smoothie, it's not a smoothie, juice mix, along with some date syrup, which is syrup made from dates, kind of self-explanatory. I was actually very pleasantly surprised because I did not taste test this before I started separating the pulp from the juice. And then when I tasted it, I was like, oh, how did that end up spot on? Like, I was worried that the date syrup was going to be too strong or that it wasn't going to have any sweetness to it. I put just the right amount of ginger in here, I feel, because it has like a nice bite, but it doesn't take over the entire flavor. You get that sweet tartness from the blueberry. It has no actual watermelon flavor as far as I'm concerned, because I don't like watermelon. So I was pretty happy about that. My least favorite part about this entire process is that it's quite time consuming because I don't have an actual juicer. And I had done this to myself before where it's like I froze half of the ingredients. So when I go to squeeze to juice everything, my hand is freezing cold because part of what I used was iced. And I don't know why I did that to myself. Like, I could have let it, thaw and then did everything and then squeeze, and it would have been, much less painful on one of my hands. But it is what it is. The process is done. The juice is delicious. I've shared 1 bottle with my brother, and then that rather questionable looking bottle is actually an old maple syrup container that I use as a juice bottle. Now, I don't know how anyone else likes their grapes, but I like mine super firm. I want it to snap like I'm biting into an apple. Ugh, it's just so satisfying. I can't stand a soft, squishy, sour grape. Ugh, I don't know how people do it. So I probably look like a weird lady in the grocery store because I'm sitting there squeezing grapes. I don't do that thing that other people do where you like take a grape and you eat it. I'm just squeezing them. I want to make sure that they're hard. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode of RV Life, What I Eat in a Week, brought to you by the Janae Collective. Don't forget to like and subscribe in order to get notified of additional content we release every Sunday. Have a wonderful week. Come back and see us again. Bye.